4:52 p.m. and like I said, we're going to get a new segment here on Radio Free Winnipeg every 2 weeks. We're going to be blessed with Ron's Radical Reviews. Yes, Ron was one of our radio campers. He, I believe, the last 2 years he was involved with Radio Camp. And it usually happens in the summer, usually in August, and on the Friday of the Radio Camp. The camp participants make a radio extravaganza of all kinds of different reviews and little things that they've created. They'd go out and do interviews. And Ron produced several different pieces, and he reached out to me and said, you know, I'd like to have a more steady segment on this on your radio station. I said, absolutely, Ron. Absolutely. So this is the first episode of Ron's Radical Reviews right now. And this will be coming to you every 2 weeks here on this show. So here it is. The debut of Ron's Radical Reviews.
Welcome to Ronnie's Radical Reviews, where I review things. Okay. My first review is for Luca Guadagnino's Challengers. I've watched some other stuff by Luca Guadagnino, and I'm a huge fan of Bones and All from 2022, which is undisputedly the best cannibal romance movie. And I watched the Suspiria remake a long time ago, don't really remember it, but still I really love Bones and All, and I enjoyed Challengers pretty equally. This movie creates an entirely unique presentation and combination of choices that would sound absolutely insane on paper, but work so well together in execution. This is a techno tennis movie, and that sounds very silly, but it works because the way they went about each artistic decision, they did it with a lot of intelligence. There are many shots of sweaty tennis men, but overall the look and feel of the visuals is pretty clean and bright. Most of the scenes are shot in sunny environments, and the color grading really brings out the subtle vibrancy of each scene. Something as simple as the font and color choices for displaying the points in each match goes a long way for the aesthetics. They chose a clean typewriter font with pastel pinks and greens as highlights. While these bright pastel matches are going on, techno music is blaring on the score, and it should not go this hard, but it really does. Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross are easily some of my favorite film composers at this point, and what they did here is no exception. When the music started to play, it consistently got me hyped for the tennis match I was about to watch. And I'm not even a sports guy, let alone a tennis guy. But if every game of tennis had this music and these camera angles, I would watch every match. Besides the aesthetic language of the movie, the story is also brilliant. The way the story is told is like a tennis match. The way events unfold is not in chronological order, and scene transitions go back and forth in time like they're being hit back and forth with a racket, which is a choice that needs to be backed up with a reason, and I think it's justified because the order that we learn information is probably the most thrilling way possible to tell the story. The characters treat their relationships with each other as a game that has a winner, and we see how much they strategize love. The three main characters in the love triangle at the center of the story are played by Zendaya, Mike Faist from the Pinball biopic, and Josh O'Connor from the 2015 Cinderella, and they all kill it, and need some awards for their performances immediately. If I had to pick one, I would say I was most enthralled by Zendaya, who had so much presence as an actress in each scene and really stole the show, but the other two guys also performed so well, and it's clear that Luca Guadagnino knows how to work with actors. Overall, I thought Challengers was amazing, and I would highly recommend it, and I'd give it a 9 out of 10. Next up, I want to talk about Funeral Soundtrack Number 4 by Destroy Boys. I don't know why it's called that. There's no 1, 2, or 3, but it doesn't matter. Destroy Boys have been in my rotation for a while now. I first discovered them when I stumbled across Crybaby from their album Make Room, and I instantly was so intrigued. So at some point I decided to listen to the whole album, and it was pretty amazing with some of their best songs like Piedmont and, like I mentioned, Crybaby. After this, I listened to their next album the day it came out, Open Mouth, Open Heart, and it was even better with more amazing highlights like Te Chevo Conmigo, All This Love and Drink. Finally, the third to this great 3-album run came out about a month ago, and it did not disappoint. The quality track to track was pretty consistent. The production on this album is the most polished the band has had, especially compared to Make Room and Sorry Mom from 2017. The writing is very impressive on the album, and I thought a lot of the ideas and ways those ideas were portrayed was pretty creative and poetic. My favorite songwriting on the album probably comes from Plucked or Boy Feel. Plucked being a well-written song about having writer's block, essentially, but more generally about not being confident or motivated to do the thing you love. Boy Feel is about gender dysphoria and gender nonconformity, and it's portrayed in a very moving and interesting way. Another track I really enjoyed was You Hear Yes, which features 2 guests from Scowl and Mannequin, word I can't say on the radio, and they both did great jobs on the track, and you can definitely feel the anger and passion from each person on the song. I also thought the melodies and instrumentation was really great throughout. I really loved the guitar sound and melody on Bad Guy, and I think it really made that song. Same goes for Shedding Skin, which I really love the tone and vibe of. But yeah, great album overall. If I had one criticism, it would be that while there are some similar ideas on some tracks, there's no specific or clear theme or through line running in the album that I put together. But besides that, the quality and sound and lyrics were consistently great. And as an album, I very much enjoyed Funeral Soundtrack number 4 and would definitely recommend it. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. Next up, I'd like to talk about another piece of art I consumed recently. Yesterday, while scrolling my phone and eating an ice cream sandwich, I came across an album that just came out recently, and I decided to give it a listen. And I have to say, I didn't have enough time to listen to the whole thing, but I did have enough time to eat the ice cream sandwich. Specifically, Chapman's Yukon cookies and cream flavored Great Canadian Moose Sandwich. First of all, that's too many names. Just pick one style of marketing. The sandwich itself, on appearance, has an interesting shape. As opposed to how the average ice cream sandwich would be more of a thin, rectangular prism kind of shape, this was more cubic and taller. The flavor wasn't too different from a normal ice cream sandwich, only with a hint of cookie crumble in the ice cream filling. I could tell that the chocolate exterior was a little sturdier to make up for the excess of ice cream, but it inevitably sort of crumbled apart by the end of its lifespan. Overall, I would probably still prefer a normal ice cream sandwich, but you can't go wrong with the format. So I would maybe recommend this product and give it a 7 out of 10. That's it from Ronnie's Rambunctious Reviews. See you next time.